no matter what field you're in, your job is in jeopardy. Why? Because the AI, artificial intelligence takeover, is accelerating at a pace that is unimaginable. I want to give you some receipts as far as the different things that's going on that you might not believe is happening right now. Whatever industry you're working in, whether it be transportation, retail, legal, engineering, medical, your job is in jeopardy of being taken over by artificial intelligence. So you look at the self-driving cars that's starting to provide taxi services. One of them in particular is Waymo, operating in California, right? And it's been operating for years at this point. Like, I just got some information that they do over 250,000 transactions a week over there in California. That's quite a bit. And then Tesla's, Tesla cars, the robo-taxi just went online in Texas. And so, that's another industry that's going to suffer. So all those people that, been Ubering and, all that stuff, that's about to take a hit, because our nature nowadays is we'd much rather not deal with people than deal with people. So people are going to, once they feel safe, they're going to select those self-driving taxis other than having to deal with a stranger. The other one is self-driving semis, autonomous semis, right? The trucking industry, guys making six figures driving semis. That's in jeopardy of coming to an end real soon. I worked for a Fortune 500 company years ago, and the main pursuit was self-driving semis, and I thought it to be somewhat of a folly, a ridiculous pursuit, and that it was far off. But nevertheless, this was years ago. I was working there. It's here now. The company operating in Texas is called Aurora. And the Waymo is spelled W-A-Y-M-O for you to go do your research, and then robo-taxi, R-O-B-O taxi. But the self-driving semi that's operating in Texas now is Aurora, A-U-R-O-R-A. And then there's another one that they just got started, semis, in China, Loris, L-O-R-R-I-E-S. Do your research, go check that out. So that technology is not gonna follow a linear path. It's exponential. That's gonna go through the roof, especially with the advancements that they got going with the artificial general intelligence. That stuff is gonna be some changes that we can't really conceive of. Autonomous fighter jets and submarines are already here, right? So this company called Anduril, A-N-D-U-R-I-L, look, these jets can identify, follow, and then engage targets. So if you're a fighter pilot, already that has been diminished with the drone warfare and so on and so forth. But like that technology gonna go into the commercial aspect as far as the jet pilots and all that, especially with what's going on now is all the crashes and different malfunctions that's happening is utterly ridiculous. I won't get on a plane at this point, because me being my discipline is mechanical engineer, but I did maintenance for many, many years. Maintenance technicians on aircraft support equipment, industrial equipment, robotics, so on and so forth. So I know the, what's the word I would say? The skills that are available. And yeah, I'm like, nah, the maintenance ain't being done properly, if I had to guess, especially with the, the diminishment of our drive as far as seeking excellence. Autonomous helicopters. This Honeywell is working on this near Earth autonomy, and they autonomous helicopters are here. So helicopter pilots, your job in danger. Also, one thing in particular is really spooky is the infantry, right? You know, we know the drone warfare and so on and so forth has been going on since the Iraq war, Afghanistan war, but they've created some little dogs with machine guns on them. And China had unveiled one dog with its soldiers going clear a place, and it had like a assault rifle type thing on it. But the Americans, we got something too, I would guess, because the Boston Dynamics dog opening up doors, so on and so forth. And I seen something where the police had a autonomous dog, and it dealt with a hostage situation. So, you know, the autonomous warfare is here. So soldiers, you know, your life is not going to be put on the line. Autonomous factory work. That's the big one, right? All these factory workers, I should have led with this one. Listen, the agility robots got this thing called Digit, walking around, picking up boxes. Amazon is like getting fully automated. So all them Amazon jobs, they coming to an end. You know, they saying that they gonna keep the workers, and you know, but that's not business. Once they get that situation, as far as they gonna need some maintenance technicians to grease up the you know, the joints on the things and fix the motors and, you know, change out batteries and things like that on the robotics. But once they get better robotics that are more fluid, like the Optimus robot with the fingers and hands, and it was dancing and moving like a man, and it'd be able to really, once they put the Croc 4 up in him, man, he gonna sell that to Amazon, and that'll be doing the maintenance on the thing. So they really have no need for us. Like, that's where they going with it. Like, you know, you look at, you say you need a lawyer or something like that. I just been through a legal situation, and I wouldn't give no legal advice. I'm not giving you any legal advice, but I wasn't in position to afford a lawyer to go against one of the top attorneys. So I had to go pro se, or however you say it. And what I did was I used the AI lawyer, you know, and asked it questions about, just gave it the information, and it told me what to do and so on and so forth. And, you know, I prevailed, but I had the lawyer with me as I walked up in there, as I, you know, try to stay in the good graces of the Lord. So I put God first, and that's what you're gonna have to do, put God first in everything you do. But yeah, your job is in jeopardy, and you're probably feeling it already, I would guess. I mean, because they asking for more out of you, I would guess, and because they you know, the work from home going away, and you know, I heard a lot of the CEOs saying, you know, hey, stop all that complaining and do your job. You know what I'm saying? Whereas it was a little bit different. They wanted to know what you thought and tried to cater to you a little bit. But now that knowing that they ain't gonna need you as much, hey, close your mouth, do your job. You're getting a paycheck, you know, get down and lay down. And so I advise you to do for yourself. You know, some of the, you know, I look at, you know, I had started farming and raising animals, and, you know, the benefit of having your own food, man, it's amazing. Food is expensive. Good quality food too, that is very expensive. Organic, non-GMO, it costly. I look at the blackberries, raspberries, and the grapes and the eggs and all that stuff, and I'm like, I take it for granted. But if I go in the store and I had to buy all this stuff, man, I'd be hurting. And so you're gonna have to make moves, try to get yourself some, solar panels, and get yourself some fertile soil, some water, these types of things that you really gonna have to be seeking after, and your time is running short. Because if you were in position to do these things, you probably would have already done it. So you're probably not in position to do it. And you had better be putting money aside and not trying to keep up with the Joneses, not worrying about going to buy this thing new, that thing new, just putting your head down, grinding, and putting money toward what's important. Because there's going to be a wealth transfer that's going on right now. And for those that have little, they're going to have even less. And the rich, they're going to get even more. If you're able to hold on to your gold stocks and your gold, and, invest in oil companies and stuff like that, that stuff, once the hyperinflation hit, it's going to run through the roof. But, and we already in the hyperinflation. If I'm being honest with you, you look at just buying a soft drink or a Snicker or something like that, it's compared to 2000, you call it 400%. If a Snicker was 50 cents in 2000 and now it's $2, that's what? Yeah, 4 times the cost. 50 cents, $2, and a Snicker, $1.99 in a lot of stores. A canned soft drink, where that was sometimes under 50 cents. That's $2 in the store. The 2 liter, the 20 ounce. Sometimes that's anywhere from $2.49 to $2.99. Well, that used to be $1. The only thing that really ain't go through the roof is your cell phone bill, right? And also fossil fuels, as far as gas and all that, it ain't seen the amount of inflation that it should see. It's been suppressed. And your cell phone been suppressed because it needs you to be, with your head down. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Man, I do my best to, when I'm out in public and waiting on something, I try my best not to be looking down. I tell my children, hey, man, you're going to be looking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Don't, stand straight up. Try and keep your good posture. But listen, a lot of things in jeopardy. Peace be multiplied on to you. Pay attention. Look up this stuff that I told you to go look up. It's important that you know what's going on.